Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Ann
and Ching En.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams.
And get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road.
And get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Michelle Capistrano.
If you didn't get a chance to listen to part 1, she shared with us why she left the Philippines and what she did to handle the hardship living far away from her family.
Today, she continues to share her experiences and give some advice for listeners who are considering working or studying abroad.
And can you give some suggestions to university students if they want go on a career like yours?
I think if you want to venture overseas.
Actually, if it's okay, I like your question. I would like to break that down to 2 separate questions, but it's along the same lines. Like Chingen's question is number 1, if people are interested to go into the pharmaceutical field, like they have a particular interest in, I guess, pharmacy or being a doctor, what would you advise? And then the second, I'd like to break it apart, and the second one would be if you're looking into going overseas for work, then what are the suggestions that you could give to help prepare them for that journey? Because I think a lot of people go overseas without really thinking things through.
Yeah.
Like what you mentioned about being homesick. I think that's a big factor. People underestimate how big of an impact that has. And so then, like you said, people give up before they even maybe made it halfway through. So let's break that down to 2 things.
I think the first question, I need to give a bit of a background.
Sure.
So I'll handle that question later. The second one I can answer.
Okay.
So I'll do that first. So your second question is, what would you advise someone who wants to go abroad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you have to get experience first, local experience. I think that's very important because you going so green overseas is gonna be more difficult for you. Because the experience that you gain in the Philippines or wherever you're originally coming from, that's your backbone. That's gonna build your confidence to know that you know exactly what you're doing. School won't prepare you for overseas in my eyes, because say for example, but then again, I'll elaborate on that further, because the career path that I took is very different from the degree that I took in university. I'm a communications major, but I ended up having a work in the healthcare line, so which is very, very different. So perhaps for someone who may have taken that path where their degree actually could help their career moving forward, then maybe having a little bit of experience can gain them some or a lot of success moving abroad, like just having a few years of experience in the Philippines just to get them started.
When you refer to experience, just to clarify, are you referring to work experience?
Work experience.
I see. Yeah. So you're saying before venturing out of the country, you gain some work experience first.
Yes.
In the field that you want to pursue.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Because right now I'm doing medical sales, right? But before I went to Singapore, I have had 6 years of medical sales experience back in the Philippines. So if I were to take this job going green, I don't think I will be able to handle it. Yeah.
Right, because you don't know.
I don't have the background for it.
It's not just not having the knowledge of your work, but if you go completely green, like you said, the fact that you're in an unfamiliar environment.
And the work itself, the workflow itself, you don't have any background on how to do it. A communications degree does not teach you how to do sales.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, your people skills, the way you read people is very essential with that type of work.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to probe a person, because sales at the heart of it is really about service and really meeting of needs. You know, you don't just sell anything to anyone and then realize that later on they don't actually need your product or service.
Right.
You need to know your customers very well. And the only way to figure them out is by asking the right questions. Yeah. So for you to be prepared to do that when you go on field to do sales, you really have the company that hires you has to train you very well for that. Yeah, and it's one thing to be trained, it's another to have the confidence to do it. Yeah, that one comes with experience.
Right.
You can't just get that from a shelf. Nobody teaches you confidence. You have to get it. It has to come from inside. Yeah.
To have some kind of experience to build up your own
Correct.
confidence, right?
Yeah, and a string of success is actually the formula for gaining confidence over time. Yeah, and you will fail along the way, and that's super normal and that's expected. But as you fail, you get more success, then you gain more confidence over time. So as you build your confidence, your rate of success becomes higher, and then you feel more equipped to handle the job for the long haul.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you kind of getting to know what the limit,
Yeah, correct.
right?
Yeah.
And you have done something which like is you go step by step
Correct.
up, and
Yeah,
then,
it's like a ladder.
yeah.
Correct.
Okay. And you were saying something about you wanted to answer the pharma thing.
Oh yeah,
separately.
okay. So thanks for reminding me. Okay, so for the farmer, right? Your question was, what would you advise someone who wants to go into the pharma line,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Okay, my answer to that is a bit unique because I'm coming from a communications background, someone who has no pharma experience. I think the best, in a way, I got lucky with this because the company that decided to hire me in medical sales is probably one of the best companies in the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah, so they have a very good training department, and they really prepare you even if you don't have any medical sales background.
Would it
for
be
the
okay
job.
to mention the name?
GlaxoSmithKline, of
Okay.
course, yeah. So they have a very good training program, and I had such high expectations for myself because I was competing against trainees like me who are in the medical field. They're like nursing graduates, biology graduates, like that, and they were always acing the exams. For me, I was just like doing, because for you to really ace an exam, you either have to have a perfect score or in the line of the nines, like 9 out of 10, 9, things like that. But I always had an 8, like an 8 out of 10, So I wasn't really happy with my performance. And for me to get an 8, I only had like 4 hours of sleep almost every day.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you
because I
have
had to study anatomy and physiology. It was really a crash course for me. And then I had a heart-to-heart talk with my trainer, and he said that, you know what, among all the members in this group of trainees, we're not expecting so much from you. The mere fact that you're doing that well based on your degree is already like really good.
It's an achievement in itself.
Yeah. So when he made me realize that I'm actually doing well, it made me more motivated to really perform during that training process. And one huge advantage I had over my colleagues at the time
Right.
is the communication skill that I had because of my degree. So it allowed me to really send the message across to my customer on what the main sales points are for my product. That it allowed me to perform well during the Revalida. The Revalida is like the final exam. It's not a written test. It's an oral test that you have to like present in a panel of sort of doctors. Like they pretend that they're doctors. They would ask you a series of questions: how you would present the drug to them, what are the indications of the drug, how would you recommend the drug for patient use, things like that. So I think what my degree prepared me for was to give the whole experience for the customer heart. Because if your training is more like on a science background, right, there's no emotions. You don't really like look after the patient, what the patient needs. But because you can see things in a different way and you can communicate that message to the customer to the advantage of the patient, then it sends a different message. It has more heart, and the doctor ends up prescribing your product more because you know as a salesperson that you don't care about the sales. You care more about the patient.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe for someone like me who really wants to venture overseas and work, I mean, if in your heart you really feel like you have a calling to do that, just go for it. But make sure that you arm yourself with the right tools so that you can do it successfully, and probably much better than I did. I hope that whatever insights I shared now would help you do it better. Yeah, and maybe would cut some of the suffering that I went through because of what I've shared, the experience that I've shared. And if you can have other life hacks that can help you also cope, then by all means also just continue doing those things. Because anything that helps you mentally, physically to handle a different environment, just continue doing that, because that's really going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Michelle, how would you define success? And what does it mean to be successful? And how would you know you have achieved your dream?
Well, number one, financial stability is a huge indicator for me. But it's not like the type of financial stability that like makes you to like we call it mukhang pera, you know, like you.
In Tagalog, okay.
Yeah.
Mukhang pera basically means that you're after money.
Yeah, just after money.
You only want money to show off.
Yeah,
how
it's very superficial.
How I guess rich you are. How much money you have.
Yeah.
It can also mean that because your goal is to chase after money, you forget the other parts of life where you're not as respectful of say other people.
Yeah.
You don't care about
your
other people. Yeah. So
that's not the type of financial stability I want. The type of financial stability I want is to allow me to buy time. Time for myself to have a better quality of life. Time for my family that allows me to build a stronger relationship with them. Because the more financially stable you are, the more time you will have with your family. The more that you can, like help them, make them happy, buy the things that you want for them. That they want, and have meaningful experiences with them. I think that's what money should be used for. Money is a tool. If you know how to use it well, it's gonna make you happier in the long run. And I think since money is a tool, right, you would know whether the person is good or bad because of how they use the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about success, your definition of it. So just to sum up, you mentioned that financial stability is the goal.
Yeah. Second is the quality of the relationships I have because of the financial stability that I've achieved.
Okay.
So they have to go hand in hand.
Right.
And my growth also as a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are this isn't like a judgment at all. I'm just saying that they're kind of abstract in nature. So my question is, how would you know you have achieved that? How would that translate
into actual... Okay. Well, for one, you have to have enough emergency funds. Okay. Second is you have enough investments that if something happens to you, you're good for...
You're covered.
When you're retired,
right.
when you reach retirement age. And then at the same time, you're not worried about if you lose your job suddenly.
Right.
Those things. I think also, because for me, if say I find a place where I can really thrive, like career-wise, relationship-wise with the people I meet, I think that's also a good indicator that I've made it, like not necessarily retain my citizenship also,
right.
If there's an option for me to like change it to better my life, then I don't see any reason for me to not to do that.
Okay.
So that's also another indication for success. Like if my status, my overall status is a huge improvement from where I came from. Yeah. Financially, emotionally, socially, relationship-wise also. Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are all the questions I have.
Thanks for your sharing.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you.
And I hope my story can help someone in this series. Yeah.
So I'm afraid that's all the time we have. Thanks so much, Mika, for your time.
Much. Thank you for having me. Yeah. I hope that my story can inspire someone venture into going abroad and figuring out what they really want to do with their life. And if they have a calling, my suggestion would just be to go for it. Just plan things well. That's it.
Okay. And that's all for today. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. That's the end of our interview with Michelle.
We hope everyone got some idea of what it's like to work abroad.
Again, this is Ching En.
And Mary Ann. See you guys next Sunday. Bye.